Hello, fellow human! Welcome back to another Dangdor/ entitled Parents videos. Do you have a pool right inside your house? Have any of your neighbors just barge into your house to swim in it? The first story is posted by u/Brightside256. M breaks into my backyard to use my swimming pool. There will be 4 events relating to this Karen and her entitled kid. Event 1. Background. I just recently had a new family move into my neighborhood. The neighborhood is relatively small and close-knit. The kind of neighborhood where everyone knows each other and we generally all get along well. We have big block parties and shoot off fireworks together on holidays. The new families is a middle-aged couple with their 4 children. The kids' ages range from around 2 to 14. This incident is just the first of several problems that I have had with this family since they moved in. M, crazy mother. K1, one of her kids around 14 years old. Me, the one and only me. I was just hanging out in the living room, just relaxing and watching TV. From the couch, I have a clear view into my backyard. That's when I noticed a retractable cover of my swimming pool began to roll up. I was home alone and no one else that has access to my backyard. For safety reason, I have a lock on my back gate because of the pool. The gate always remained locked, as we would liable if anything was happen in the yard. I rush outside and see what was going on. That is when I see M standing next to my pool with her 4 children. They are dressed in their swimsuits and M is rolling up the cover of my pool. Me, excuse me? What do you think you're doing in my backyard? M, my kids have been well behaved today and they want to go for a swim. I saw that you have a pool, so we're going for a dip. Me, this is not a public pool, M. You're on my private property. I need you to get out of my backyard now. I never told you that you're allowed to come on my property without permission. M, who the hell do you think you are? It is a very hot day, and my kids want to go for a swim, and they will. Me, not in my private pool, they will not. How did you even get in my yard anyway? The gate is locked. M, scare it off. In my old neighborhood, we did this all the time. My kids are going for a swim now, and you will not even know we are here. You're just being selfish. And I will not allow my babies to suffer because of your bad mood. Me, now angry. I'll not ask again, M. You either get the hell off of my property now, or I will call the police. You're not using my pool, and that is final. M finally gets the cover off. Okay, kids, jump on in. Don't listen to this stupid tramp. K1, yeah, you stupid tramp. We're going for a swim now, and you can't stop us. Me, that's it. I'm calling the police. M now sees that I'm serious and tries to reason with me. M, you would really not allow 4 kids to go for a swim on a hot day? What kind of heartless person are you? Just let us go swimming for an hour and we will leave. Don't you want to be a good neighbor to us? Me, oh no, I do not. You just broke into my backyard without permission. Please get off of my property now. M starts to mumble something to her kids, and then she grabs her 2 youngest kids and starts to walk out of my yard. I then turn around and I see their 2 eldest boys still standing by the pool. I start to walk over to tell them to go with them, and that's when I see what they were doing. Her 2 oldest hellspawns are peeing into my pool. K1, maybe that will teach you to be a better neighbor, you stupid tramp. Me grabs the arms of the 2 eldest and push them out of the gate. Get the duck off of my property, you disgusting little craps. M, don't you dare lay a hand on my babies or I'll call the police on you. Who do you think they will believe? A good mommy or pathetic little tramp like you? You just got what you deserve. Enjoy swimming in your piss pool. They then all walk off laughing as they went back to their house. I was in complete shock and I didn't know what to do. I now wish I called the police after this first incident, but I sadly did not, and things have been escalated with his family. Remember how I said I had a lock on the gate? I later found it broken on the ground. I have no idea what they used to smash it, but they were successful. I have since purchased a much more heavy-duty lock. So why I didn't just call the police right away, you may ask? I'm not best with confrontation and have a hard time handling stuff like this. When people yell at me, I sometimes just shut down and panic. At the beginning of this incident, I really thought that Em had the wrong backyard since she's new. A few of my other neighbors have pools as well, and I thought maybe one of them had offered Em to use their pool. Many of my neighbors are very friendly and are the type to offer this kind of thing. I thought maybe Em had just got the wrong yard. Boy, was I wrong! After the altercation happened, I was just too scared to call. I did lay hands on her kids, and I was worried that I would get into trouble for this. I did not think it would escalate the way it did. I didn't think anyone could be this crazy. Also, yes, this post is unfortunately real. I wish it was fake. It would have saved me a lot of time, money, and tears. Event 2. I came home from shopping the next day and found out that Em went into my backyard a second time. I was out at the hardware store buying a new lock for the gate when this occurred. Before I had left to go shopping, I asked my elderly neighbor to keep an eye out for Em just in case. Here's what my neighbor told me what happened. She said that Em and her kids were in my yard playing with my family lawn games. We have several such as lawn darts, ladder ball, and fake axe throwing game, etc. She didn't know how long they had been in the yard, but when she noticed them, she went onto her deck and told them to leave. After making a fuss again, they complied and left. Apparently, a lot of swearing and a full-blown tantrum was involved. I went into the yard to investigate and see if anything had been taken. Nothing was taken, but most of the games had damage. A few parts were snapped, an axe was broken, and my inflatable unicorn float for the pool was popped. I was livid at this point, and I couldn't believe this happened again. I spoke to my parents about this incident, and I wanted to call the police. My parents told me to not bother though, that it was just cheap stuff, and that I should just let it go. They told me that the police wouldn't care about something so trivial. Ultimately, they are homeowners, so it was not my decision. I did make a point of taking all the broken pieces and throwing them over her front lawn. A few bags of dog waste included for extra fun. Event 3. The EKs went into another elderly neighbor's front garden and picked almost every one of her flowers. She had a beautiful garden with roses and other expensive flowers in it. It was my neighbor's pride and joy. She had been working on that garden ever since I was a child. I was walking my dog when I found her crying in her garden as she cleaned up the mess. When she told me the story of what had happened, it broke my heart. I asked her if she was going to call the police, and she said that she already had. They had come earlier in the day and had gone over to talk to Em. Em defended her EK's actions by saying that it was her birthday, and the EKs thought she deserved a beautiful present. Wasn't that lovely of them? She even proudly showed the bouquet off to the police officers. The police didn't do anything other than give her a verbal warning and a file report. Event 4. The neighborhood has a park only 3 houses down from Em's home. Instead of walking there like a normal person, she would load up her kids in a car and drives them over. There isn't a parking lot at this park, and most people who drive their car will park on the side of the road. Not Em though, she'll run over the curb and park directly beside the children's playground equipment. She has done this numerous times, regardless of if there are other people at the playground. She will just honk her horn at you and scream for you to move. I have a video and pictures of her doing this. Some of the other neighbor parents were obviously furious over her actions, and she was confronted about her behavior. I stood with them watching as I was walking my dog at the time, and I was very curious to see how this ended. They told her she could hit a child or animal by doing this. She just started saying that we were racist and that we were mean to her, and she then went and called the police on us. She was acting very smug by doing this and seemed genuinely proud of herself. She told the group that we were going to be sorry for the way we have treated her since she moved in. As soon as the police came, she began to cry and claimed that we all had been mistreating her for the weeks. She made up a whole bunch of lies about things we had done to her. She even threw herself on the ground and acted like a child. 2 of her kids joined in on this tantrum and the other just continued to play. The police interviewed everyone who was present, and it was very clear that she was wrong in this situation. The police pulled her aside and talked to her, and she was given a very hefty ticket for reckless driving. And she was told that if this happened again, she would be charged. For once, she was silent and just left with her kids. To my knowledge, she has not done this again since. Well, P really need to install security camera ASAP so you can actually have proofs of their wrongdoings. We have here the second story written by Lord Wolf Ducks. Entitled Mom wants to skip the line, gets a lot more than she wanted. A need to know detail, it was ducking hot. It was about 35 degrees Celsius, but it felt like 44. Important detail for later. So I was standing in line at the checkout at my local supermarket. I think in total I had about like 10 items, some frozen goods, drinks and snacks. I usually tend to take out one of the buds off my phone, so in case someone addressed me, I would hear it. At this time, the woman at the cash register was taking care of the payment of one client, and there was one person in front of me. And then suddenly, she appeared, the M in the story. Now honestly, she didn't look like it. She didn't even give off the mean vibe or anything. Even the way she started talking to me was overall nice and polite. At first. Excuse me? Do you mind if I skip ahead? I'm in a hurry. Now, in general, if somebody politely asks me this, and I don't have any urgent business of my own, I usually don't mind. This time, however, I didn't have that many groceries, so her delay would be at most few minutes. Well, she was pushing a fully loaded shopping cart in front of her, so if I would have let her skip, I would probably still be in the store for another 10 to 20 minutes. So I politely decline and tell her that I will hurry as much as I can. Of course, this was a great offense. I had not given this woman her entitlement. She blew up instantly, yelling and screaming at me that she was in a hurry and, not kidding here, had to be home in time for her shows. Now at the time, I would like to point out that during this rant, she only said that she had to be gone home in time for her shows, and that they were very important to her and there was nothing else making this urgent for her. This is also important a bit later. Now while this woman was going off, the person at the cash registers went into ignore mode and just started scanning my groceries, which I loaded into a bag while the entitled mother was going on about how I was garbage and they should have me banned from the store. Now, this should have been the end of it, just turn around and go home and forget this happened. But then, she said something that, first, made me almost want to punch her entitled face, and second, made this a postable story. While I was walking away, just about to put earbud back in, she yells, "If you pass by my car, tell my son he's the reason he has to wait for another half an hour for me." Now, I'm not an extremely smart person, but in this moment my brain made some connections quickly. What I realized was this. First, again, it was very hot outside. And second, this woman had been in the store for a while, judging by the amount of groceries. And third, the entire parking lot of this store had almost no shade. And fourth, it was about 2 p.m., so the sun was just over its peak. I rushed outside and started running past cars, scanning them for kids inside. Thankfully, one of the first cars I passed has a small child laying in the back seat. This kid is pale as a ghost, sweating like crazy, and it looked like he was only half conscious. I run back inside, and to my utter astonishment, this tramp is having a conversation with the cashier while she's checking out her groceries. I grab her by shoulder, spin her around, and yell almost straight to her face that her kid is literally passing out in her car. And if you don't do something right now, I'm smashing your windows and calling the cops. At first, she looked at me in complete confusion, probably never spoken to like that before in her life. And then the realization of what I just told her sunk in, and she just rushed outside. While she went outside, a man tapped me on the shoulder and asked what had happened. I explained the situation, actually leaving out the bid at the cashier register, just saying that I saw the kid in the car and knew that this woman was probably the owner. He went outside, and when I came outside, the entitled mother suddenly rushed me and got in my face, saying that I was the reason she was in the store for so long, and her son's current condition was my fault. Before I can even respond, the man that approached me earlier speaks up. Turns out this man was an off-duty cop and had been in the store for a while, and as such, knew that the actual delay caused by me could have not caused this. He also said that he had actually called an ambulance for the kid and cops for her. I don't know what happened to the entitled mother, but she completely crashed. She just sat down on the pavement and started shaking her head, not saying much except for the occasional sob and "not my fault." As for the ending, everything turned out to be okay for the most parties. I stayed out a while to give statement to the cops and my contact info in case it went to court. The kid was okay afterwards. And since his mom got arrested, they called his dad, or another male family member I didn't ask, to accompany him to the hospital. As for the entitled mother, I'm assuming that she's going to have a stand trial for child endangerment. Not sure if she'll just get a fine or jail time. Later on, I was contacted by the police a few days ago, last Friday. I went to the station where they went over my statement and asked if I wanted to add or amend anything. I said I didn't. They couldn't really tell me directly what was going to happen with the mother or the family in general, but said that the standard punishment when the child is not seriously hurt is usually a GIS fine, which basically stands for Municipal Administrative Sanction in English. I think it's kind of sad. Something bad has to happen before serious punishment is handed out. I do not know what the amount of the fine will be, but as for me, it couldn't be high enough. I've not seen any of those people in the store or in the area in general, but I also don't know if they live near here, or were just passing by the store by coincidence, or maybe they're just avoiding the store. That is also possible. That will probably be the end of this tale. I know many of you hope for something worse for the mother, but sadly life is not fair. But at least the child lived, and let's hope the mother learns a lesson. How can you be so stupid and leave your child in a car? Disgusting! To be honest, the shows probably did mean more to her. Also, huge props to OP, as OP managed to, first, you save a child's life, and second, you save this child from probably a crap and neglected childhood and therefore life. And third, you managed to piece together all that from listening to an entitled mother, which few could do. That's it for today, fellow humans. Thanks for watching. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time.